Hi there folks, welcome to Boating on a Budget with me, the tight Yorkshireman.
And me, Dawn.
We're finally back on the painting, Dawn.
We are.
Well, not that there'll probably be much painting today, but we reckon it's been about 3 to 4 weeks since we last did anything on this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because in between that time we kind of went into Liverpool for over a week and we weren't really going to do any sanding on the nice dock there. We also then went home for a few days, and then the weather's not been kind, has it?
It's been rubbish.
So as we've been moving about, we've not had a chance to do anything on it, and you can already see that weathering is taking its toll on the paintwork.
It is, yeah.
Because this is only primer, the primer's not weatherproof and waterproof.
No.
So in just those few weeks, it started to craze the paint ever so slightly. So it's going to mean most of this paint in effect is going to need sanding back off, which we know we're going to need to do that anyway because we need to get everything filled.
Yeah.
At first glance, it looks fine.
Yeah, it's alright.
And then you start looking at it in the right lights and shades and things, and you can see there's loads of bits that need work in there.
It becomes terrible then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean there's bits like down in this corner, that needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then if I run my hand down there, I can feel there, that's where two panels are joined, and where that's been welded, it's not been smoothed off properly, so that's going to need quite a bit of work. And things like this, that's where the nav light was, the light that's on the side of the boat that tells you which side you're on, either a red or a green light. However, we've realised that the band of dark grey that we're going to do is going to kind of overlap into that light, so it won't be aesthetically pleasing.
No.
So we're going to move that light, so that means I need to now fill and sand over those.
Yeah.
So there's a fair bit of work, and it's mainly just sanding and filling.
It's going to be prepping today, isn't it, really?
We have actually got a nice big tin of filler, because on the last video loads of people commented when I got just like the little tube of filler saying, oh, you're going to need more than that, and we knew that.
It's the only thing you could buy though at
Exactly.
time, weren't it?
Went to the nearest shops and they'd only got that little one. So we've got this, we'll probably need more of it. And I've bought some proper filling knives, so that should get the nice smooth finish on there. And talking of buying things, that hurts. Never paid that much for a paintbrush, and I don't even say how much it was, but it's a really good paintbrush for when we come to do the laying off at the end. And this then stores the paintbrush and keeps it sort of moist, so you never have to actually clean your brush. It's always ready for use. So we've sort of speculated on the right stuff. I think the only thing to do is you can make some breakfast.
I can.
And I'll start sanding.
Yep.
breakfast is served. What's on the menu today?
Sausage, tomato, egg, and a cup of coffee. I'm going to eat mine indoors.
Delicious. Thank you. I think we're starting to grasp then. It's a lot of fill, sand, sand, fill,
Yeah.
fill, sand. And I guess this is where we're now going to have to kind of do that balancing act, aren't we? Because we have to bear in mind this is a 40-year-old boat.
Yeah.
We're never going to get this side like a piece of glass.
No.
But the more work we put in now and the more detail we're getting to getting this filling right, obviously the better the boat's going to look overall.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to go on over maybe even a couple of days so that we can see the boat in different lights and things.
Yeah.
Just to pick out where we do need to sand and fill to get that really nice finish.
Yeah.
But we've got this first layer of filler in, so I'm now going to sand that back. And this is where you find that you put a load of filler on and sand most of it back off again. And then you need to put a bit more in, and obviously anybody who's done this sort of thing before, especially the professionals, they do it a lot quicker, maybe in 1-2 hits.
Right. We're not doing that.
We're not professionals. Fill it, sand it, fill it, sand it. You get the idea.
Why are you not using electric? Why are you using a hand on that?
I don't want to use the electric because I think, again, we're not being professionals. It would be very easy to just sort of end up putting the electric sander on that and just ripping all that filler straight back out in effect.
Right, okay.
So although it's going to take a lot more time by hand, I think that's how we're going to get the better finish by doing it by hand.
Okay.
I don't know.
Think how fun's trying to come out, Peter.
Yes, we've waited months for the British summer to arrive, and potentially the day where we don't really want baking hot sunshine, because eventually we're going to have to get some paint on this side. We don't really want the sun baking down on the side of the boat whilst we're painting it, especially. I reckon by the time we get to painting,
It's going to be direct. But I'm not moaning.
No, we'll not moan. We'll not complain. We'll just carry on. See, already I can feel that is pretty smooth. Can maybe just about pick out on the camera there's a little indentation, so that's going to need a bit more filler in there, but already I'm kind of quite happy with how that little bit of filling's gone. But we've got all that to do. There's also things like on these corners, trying to get this radius right where the different sheets of steel were originally welded. They kind of need more work. That's what I say, it's all about the detail. How far do we go? We could be here in 6 months still. Odd bits of filler. The key as well is, you can kind of, I can feel there that that's going to want a bit of filler in. But until you get some paint over the top of it, it's very difficult to see
Yeah,
whether
feels
you've
smooth,
got it
but
right.
then paint seems to
So,
make everything pop hard, doesn't it? I am stood here with my hands on me watching.
yeah, see, everyone always comments saying it's always you that does all the work. And I just stood there looking at me. You've not put kettle on, you've not made a sandwich. Oh yeah, you've done all them already.
I am going to put kettle on though.
Yes, keeping hydrated will be the key to today.
Yeah, mind my back a second.
We're already starting to get to the point then where it's smoothing out nicely.
Yeah.
Kind of run your fingers over that, you can feel it's nice and smooth. There are, however, some little bits that just need just a very fine layer of filler in now, and I think that's now the key to it, is going to be just getting these like little fine details in. And like we said earlier, that's how far do you go? How many of them little marks can you pick out? But yeah, so I think I'll mix another batch of filler up, but this lot of filler I do just want to put on really thin,
right?
Just like a fine coating over it, so it's less sanding and it's just filling in the little divots. We're getting there,
we are,
slowly but surely.
Are you just eyeballing that then?
Yes, there are some instructions with it, but it's kind of just eyeball it, I think.
Right, okay. I would say you measured it within an inch of its life last time.
Yeah, that had a different kind of measuring system. This, it's just got like pictures of circles that you kind of, you do this size of.
And does that hardener do the whole of that tin?
In theory.
All right, so you need to.
If you get your ratios right. Obviously the thing is, if I put too much hardener in, it'll set really quickly and I'll not have time to work it onto the boat. And if I don't put enough hardener in, it'd either not set at all or it'd take forever to set. So there is an element of, you can kind of not get it quite right, but that then just affects the drying time. Yeah, so such as up here, I've just got a very tiny amount in there, so I'm just putting little tiny bits. I want to try and leave as little sanding as possible at this stage now to get it as fine as possible. And if people have been watching us for a long time and remember us doing the fiberglassing on the roof of Leander Lady, they'll probably remember that you had to keep telling me enough's enough.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to keep going and just do that, like just that little bit more, and just this might be the same in about 3 years time when I'm going, we just need one more splodge of filler.
Just do that corner, because that's where that gap is.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do actually is I'll leave that little bit to dry and then run some more in behind it.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I did have to say, right Peter, stop.
Put down the epoxy and step away from the project, and that could be replicated here. However, I'd rather try and get it too good than not good enough. So I think what the kind of professional boat builders do is when they've built a new boat, they more or less literally run a whole skim of filler all the way down the side of the boat and then sand it off to get that perfectly like crystal shiny flat edge.
Ah. Yeah, because if you did that all the way down, it'd fill every tiny hairline fracture,
In
wouldn't it?
theory, yes, but equally you've then got to sand it off correctly as well.
Yeah.
So I've obviously mixed this one a bit too.
Has it gone already?
Oh no.
It takes a second,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I kind of, it's sort of already starting to go lumpy. So that little conversation we had about how much hardener I was putting in,
Not as much as that.
obviously I've put a bit much in, because if I now try and spread that around on the side of the boat, it's just going to make a mess. Lesson learned. Not so much hardener. Well, after plenty more sanding and filling and sanding and filling, we'll now get a coat of primer on it again. We're fairly sure we're still going to need to do some more filling and sanding at a later stage, but what we now need to do is get a coat of the primer back on so that it's all a consistent grey, and then obviously we can see what we need to do. So like we did last time, Dawn's going to roller, I'm going to brush.
Different roller.
Yeah, we're using like a furry roller this time. We weren't sure whether that will give a better finish or a worse finish than that sort of foam roller we used last time, so
We'll see.
we'll see. As we said last time as well, these coats of primer aren't that essential to the actual overall finish, because once we've got 4 good coats of primer on after we've done all the filling, we will then give it a good sand back anyway, so that'll get any lumps and bumps and imperfections from the primer out of it. Obviously the better we can do now, the better the finish, but we'll see how we go.